Okay, so for tonight, we're going to have a discussions about cloud computing. No? So I'll just want to play a video presentation prepared by Miss Rochelle. Okay, then after that, I just want to add additional inputs, then play additional video coming from my former student at the same time. Okay.
Good evening, class. Good evening, Prof. I am Rochelle Flores Tobado. My report is regarding cloud computing. Why cloud computing? Why cloud computing? Let's compare on these two, the on-premise and versus the cloud computing. On the on-premise, there is a higher pay and less scalability. A lot huge space for the servers, appoint a team for hardware and software maintenance, poor data security, less chance of data recovery. But the cloud computing, there is pay for what you use, no service space required, no expert required for the hardware and software maintenance, better data security, and disaster recovery. On the premise, there is a lack of flexibility, while on the cloud computing, there is a high flexibility. On the premise, there is no automatic updates. On the cloud computing, the automatic software updates. On premises, less collaboration. The cloud computing, teams can collaborate from the widespread locations. On the premises, data cannot be accessed remotely, while on the cloud computing, data can be accessed and shared anywhere over the internet. And the last, on the premises, takes longer implementation time, while the cloud computing, there is a rapid implementation. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing is the delivery of computing services, including servers, storage, database, networking, software, analytics, and intelligence over the internet or the cloud, to offer faster innovation and flexible resources and economics of scale. What is cloud computing? Rather than managing the files on a local storage device, cloud computing make it possible to save them over the internet. Let's talk about the types of cloud computing. There is two cloud computing, the deployment model and the service model. The deployment model includes the public cloud, the private cloud, and the combination of the hybrid cloud. While on the services model, there is the IaaS, the PaaS, and the SaaS. There are three types of deployment model. One is the public cloud, second is the private cloud, and the third is hybrid cloud. Let's talk about the public cloud. Public cloud is a cloud deployment model where computing resources are owned and operated by a provider and shared across the multiple tenants via the internet. The private cloud is a computing service offered either over the internet or a private internal network and only to select users instead of the general public. On the hybrid cloud, this is a combination of a public cloud and a private cloud. It is a computing environment that combines on the premises data center, or also called the private cloud, with the public cloud, allowing data and application to be shared between them. Service model. IaaS, or if your business needs a virtual machine, operated for infrastructure as a service. On the PaaS, if your company requires a platform for a building, software products, and pick a platform as a service. On the SaaS, if your business doesn't want to maintain any IT equipment, then choose software as a service. Let's talk about the cloud providers. Here are the example of the top cloud providers: the AWS, the Microsoft Azure, the IBM Cloud, the VMware, the Google Cloud Platform, and the DigitalOcean. This is the example of the cloud computing with AWS, or the Amazon Web Service. It is a cloud service for Amazon. First, it provides the services over the internet, and AWS services can be used to create and deploy any type of application in the cloud. And AWS uses the subscription pricing model and pay for what you use. Let's talk about the life cycle of a cloud computing solution. First is know the define the purpose. Understand the requirements of a business and determine what type of applications to run on the cloud. Second is define the hardware. Choose a compute service that will provide the right support where you decide the compute capacity in the cloud to run the application firms. These are the example of the defined hardware: the EC2, the ECS, and the Lambda. Third is define the storage. Choose storage services where you can back up and archive your data over the internet. Those are the example: the AWS EBS, EFS, S3, Blazor, and the storage gateway. Fourth is define the network. Define the network that securely delivers data, videos, applications, etc. with a low latency and a high transfer speed. Here are the example of networking: the VPC, the Direct Connect, and the Route 53. The fifth is define the security. Set up a security services which enable services for users' authentication or limiting the access to a certain set of users on the AWS resources. Here are the example: the API gateway, the IAM, the Cognito, SSM parameter store, the secret manager, and the KMS. Six is the define management process and tools. You can have a complete control on your cloud environment by defining management tools which monitor AWS resources and the customer application running on the AWS platform. Seventh is the testing the process. Verify the process using AWS developer tools where you can build tests and deploy your code quickly. That's about the life cycle of a cloud computing solution: analytics, Athena, EMR, or the cloud search. Finally, and analyze the visualized data by using analytics services where you can start querying data instantly and get the result. That's all, and thank you for listening.
Okay, so as our presenter mentioned, no, that of course, cloud computing for the, actually what will be the use of cloud computing? No? Organizations of every type, no, size and industry are using the cloud for a wide variety use cases, no, and such as of course data backup, no, disaster recovery, email, virtual desktop, software development, and testing big data analytics. And the customer facing web applications, for example, healthcare companies are using the cloud to develop more personalized treatments for patients. No, financial services companies are using the cloud to power the real-time fraud detections and preventions, and video game makers using the cloud to deliver online games to millions of players around the world. So what will be the benefits of cloud computing? No, cloud computing. No, number one is agility. No, the cloud gives you easy access to a broad range of technology so that you can innovate faster and build nearly anything that you can imagine. So you can quickly sign up resources as you need them, from infrastructure services such as compute, storage, and databases to Internet of Things. And later on, somebody will be able to deliver about Internet of Things, machine learning, data takes and analytics, and much more. And you can deploy technology services in a matter of minutes, and get from idea to implementation several orders of magnitude faster than before. So this gives you the freedom to experiment, test new ideas to differentiate customer experiences and transform your business. Another, of course, is the elasticity. With cloud computing, you don't have over provision resources upfront to handle peak levels of business activity in the future. Instead, you provision the amount of resources that you actually need, and you can scale these resources up or down to instantly grow and shrink capacity as your business needs change. For cloud computing, is cost saving in a way that the cloud allows you to trade fixed expenses such as data centers and physical servers for variable expenses, and only pay for IT as you consume it. Plus, the variable expenses are much lower than what you would pay to do it yourself because of the economics of scale. Deploy globally in minutes. With the cloud, you can expand to new geographic regions and deploy globally in minutes. Let's say, for example, if you are familiar with AWS, AWS has infrastructure all over the world, so you can deploy your applications in multiple physical locations with just a few clicks. Putting applications in closer proximity to end users reduces latency and improves, of course, their experience. We have a lot of course, as what our presenter mentioned, types of cloud computing. So the three main types of cloud computing includes infrastructure as a service, IaaS. We have, of course, SaaS, software as a service, and platform as a service. Each type of cloud computing provides different levels of control, flexibility, and management so that you can select the right set of services you need. For the infrastructure as a service, IaaS contains the basic building blocks for cloud IT. So it typically provide access to networking features, computers, virtual man yan, or dedicated hardware, and data storage space. The infrastructure or IaaS gives you the highest level of flexibility and management control over your IT resources. It is the most similar to the existing IT resources with which many IT departments and developers are familiar. Number two, of course, is the PaaS, or platform as a service. PaaS removes the need for you to manage underlying infrastructure, actually usually hardware and operating systems, and allows you to focus on the deployment and management of your applications. This helps you to be more efficient as you don't need to worry about resource procurement, capacity planning, software maintenance, patching, or any of the other undifferentiated heavy lifting involved in running your application. Number three is the software as a service, or yung SaaS na sinasabi ng ating presenter earlier. SaaS provides you with a complete product that is run and managed by the service providers. Wala ka nang gagawin, magbabayad ka na lang. In most cases, people referring to SaaS are referring to end user applications such as web-based email. With a SaaS offering, you don't have to think about how the service is maintained or how the underlying infrastructure is managed. You only need to think about how you will use that particular software. Okay, so Actually, when it comes to AWS, they have cloud services and they have cloud solutions, no? For AWS, no, they have AWS has more services, more than features with those services than any other cloud provider, including compute, storage, databases, networking data, uh, takes, okay, lakes and analytics, no, data lakes and analytics, machine learning and artificial intelligence, IoT, security, and much more. When it comes to their cloud solutions, no, AWS provides a comprehensive portfolio of solutions, no, that help you solve common problems and build their faster using the AWS platform. Every AWS solutions comes with detailed architecture, a deployment guide, and instruction for both automated and manual deployment. Okay, so I'll just want to play additional video presentation about cloud computing while we are waiting for our next presenter. Looking forward that our next presenter are here and join already, because right after this video, now we're going to have a continuations of the second.
So good evening, classmates, and good evening, Doc Marmelo. I am Princess Enya, and I will be reporting the cloud computing. Before we start, here are some of the learning objectives you could gather from our discussion. So first, to identify and understand cloud computing. Second, to identify the types of cloud services. Third, to understand how cloud computing works. Fourth, to know the uses of cloud computing. Fifth, to assess why cloud computing is important. Sixth, to identify the benefits and disadvantages of cloud computing. And seven, to assess if cloud computing is secure. So ano nga ba yung cloud computing? And for those na hindi gaanong familiar kung ano ba si cloud computing, we're going to tackle that on this discussion. So cloud computing has become an increasingly attractive option for growing businesses. Some companies, rather than hiring more IT employees or invest in an IT infrastructure, they are turning to renting a cloud service. Cloud service that they need for their business operations. Many find cloud computing lowers their cost while increasing their ability to scale and innovate. So, yung question dito is, what exactly is cloud computing? So, based on definition sa internet, cloud computing is the delivery of different services through the internet. These resources include tools and applications like data storage, servers, databases, networking, and software. Rather than keeping files on a proprietary hard drive or local storage device, cloud-based storage makes it possible to save them to a remote database. As long as an electronic device has access to the web, it has access to the data and the software programs to run it. So basically, the concept behind cloud computing is simple. Para ka lang gumagamit computer applications over the internet nang hindi bumibili or nag-i-install or nagmamanage ng own servers nyo or nung business na yon. You can run your company's IT operations gamit lamang ang iyong browser and internet connection. Yung applications, operating system, servers, and network switches all reside out of sight, the internet, and are managed by your cloud computing vendor or the provider. Next is history of cloud computing. So, cloud computing has its origins in the 1960s, though the term has been in use for only about 20 years. Computing as a service, as it was previously known, came to a life when businesses first began to rent time on a mainframe from computing bureaus. This was before personal computing became affordable. And cloud computing began to take its current form soon after nung sumikat na yung mga internet, then mabilis na sumunod or nasundan ng e-commerce. yung concept noong 1919 ng B2B or business to business application service providers or ASPs was a precursor to today's business SaaS or yung tinatawag natin na software as a service providers. Shortly after that, business began to collect and manage exponentially large volumes of data, and consumers began to use multiple connected devices in their daily lives. So today, the cloud computing market is on a rapid upward trajectory for businesses of all sizes. Ayon sa prediction ng Gartner, by 2024, more than 45% of traditional IT spending is expected to shift to the cloud. So Gartner Incorporated is a technological research and consulting firm based in Stamford, Connecticut, that conducts research on technology and shares this research both through private consulting as well as executive programs and conferences. Yan, as per Wikipedia. Next naman po is types of cloud computing. So, sa types ng cloud computing, not all clouds are the same and not one type of cloud computing is right for everyone. Several different models, types, and services have evolved to help offer the right solution for the needs of the businesses. First, you need to determine the type of cloud deployment or yung cloud computing architecture para malaman kung anong fit na model or anong type ng deployment yung kailangan para dun sa business na meron ka. So, here is a breakdown of the 4 deployment options available to businesses today. First is the public cloud. Computing resources are shared among companies and reside on the internet. Perhaps ito yung pinaka mas kilala or mas sikat na cloud computing model. Public clouds are multi-tenant, which means customers share computing resources including hardwares, applications, and development platforms that are delivered on demand. So resources are accessed via web browser and managed by third-party cloud providers or vendor, which have significant computing power and storage capabilities. Next na meron is the private cloud. Only one company access a private cloud which resides behind internal firewalls. So unlike the public cloud, private cloud deployments is karaniwang ginagawa ng isang business kasama yung data nila behind internal firewalls. All resources are dedicated to one business only. This is an attractive option for companies that manage sensitive data or that deal with complex regulatory frameworks. But private clouds have some limits. The main one is that few businesses have the ability to grow their private clouds on the same scale as a public cloud provider. That said, private cloud deployments are popular entry point into cloud computing, with many companies eventually moving to a hybrid or public cloud model. Since nabanggit na hybrid, next po natin is the hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud companies use both public and private clouds with data shared between the two. So many businesses using the cloud today opt for a hybrid model in which part of their data and services reside in the public cloud, while sensitive data and projects reside in a private cloud. Some data and services are shared between clouds. In this way, yung companies nakukuha na both benefits nung parehas na types ng cloud deployment. So, the scalability of a public cloud deployment and the control of a private environment kung saan yun yung kailangan ng company. So, most of the companies using hybrid cloud are mga financial service institutions, healthcare providers, public sector companies, and other organizations that manage confidential data tend to gravitate toward hybrid models so they can keep innovating while evolving at their own security or secure pace. Lastly, or yung pang-apat na cloud computing deployment is multi-cloud. Companies use multiple cloud providers. As the name dun sa name, di ba, multi. Yan. Businesses that opt for multi-cloud deployment use several cloud services from different providers. Some companies choose this option because they don't want to be locked into one vendor or provider. Others prefer different sets of applications for different operational needs from different vendors. So, parang sa sa pag-i-invest, 'di ba? Sa yung mga financial advisors lagi sinasabi na don't put your savings or investment in one basket, 'di ba? May options tayo or may pwede tayo mamili kung saang different basket tayo magi-invest. So, parang ganito dito sa multi-cloud, wag mo siya ibuhos sa isa kasi any moment or any time na merong aberya dun sa provider na yun, panigurado bagsak yung system ng company mo. Unlike kung deploy mo siya using multi-cloud sa iba't ibang providers, but at least 1/4 or half lang yung mababali dun sa sistema ng iyong business. So, multi-cloud deployments also ensure a certain level of redundancy. So an issue at one cloud vendor will affect only a portion of the business IT capabilities. Oops. So next, how does cloud computing work? The cloud is a decentralized information technology environment where compute services and digital information are shared. Cloud computing services are accessed via web, browser, or mobile app with an internet connection rather than through a company's own network. The vendor is responsible for the application, data storage, the underlying operating system, its servers, the physical data center infrastructure, and installing security updates and feature upgrades. So customers manage endpoints and login rights, so employees access only the data and services to which they are entitled and pay as they go for services, typically on a subscription basis. Cloud computing allows businesses to access powerful computing and or storage capabilities via the internet. Just like tenants who pay rent for an apartment but don't own it. Diba? Rent lang yung na-access nila. Rent lang sila. Pero sila yung gumagamit ng apartment pero for rent lang, hindi sila yung may-ari nun. So companies pay to access the cloud for what they need, typically on a subscription basis. Yan, like what I said earlier. Next is cloud computing uses. So cloud computing offers companies a way to access and tailor IT system for a specific set of needs, whether internally man yan or for customers. or purely for the operations ng business lang. New use cases emerge each day, but following are some of the most common cloud computing applications that apply to virtually any industry. So first is the data storage and backup. So businesses have never had more data about their customers or operations, and all signs point to exponential growth. For data collection in the future, by storing this information in the cloud, companies don't have to keep expanding their own storage capacity. Next naman po is the data collection and analytics. Dito is companies can gain invaluable insight from their data, but the challenge is consolidating information from different sources into one repository. So the cloud can make it simpler to unify data from different teams and resources to gain a holistic view of the company. For procurement teams, cloud-based data on vendor relationships ensure one-time payment and project delivery. For retailers, this translates to a better understanding of customers across channels and touch points. And the list goes on. Next is breakdown departmental silos. So by bringing together data from different sources, cloud computing promotes information and idea sharing. Such interdepartmental integrated business planning and collaboration is the backbone of successful business operations. For instance, alignment of data and process between HR and finance team is crucial to accurate reporting and employee management. Next is improved data security. While some organizations have built a robust security around their data, many businesses simply lack the expertise, computing power, or budget to adequately protect information. Leading cloud providers have the resources to configure first-rate data security architectures across their data centers, network, and software. Companies that sell software-based services also update and patch their code for every customer simultaneously and immediately. Next is deliver services on demand. This benefit lies at the heart of cloud computing, in which businesses and consumers alike can access what they need when they need it. There are a variety of ways to services to be delivered, depending on what nature and sensitivity of information involved. Customers subscribe to these services, paying only what they use. Last po is the test and build new services and features. Application building and testing require significantly more computing power than everyday business operations, especially when emerging technologies like machine learning are involved. By testing and building new services and features in a cloud environment, companies can reduce their development costs. They can also scale their cloud investments based on their current computing power and data storage. And so, who uses cloud computing? It can be used in virtually every industry and every department of a modern organizations. For example, sa finance team or finance department, they use ERP or enterprise resource planning cloud systems to track and monitor business performance. And for the HR department, they use cloud platforms to manage the employee experience from payroll to performance reviews. Sa marketing department naman, They use the customer relationship management or CRM and analytics software in the cloud to get closer to customers and engage them with more personalized communications. Next is, why is cloud computing important for businesses? So we have financial, operational, and strategic. The importance of cloud computing for businesses can be divided into three categories. So overall financial benefits come from cost savings on IT infrastructure and management. Operational benefits include improved data access and collaboration